Why the world fears a united black nation. The truth they never taught us. Imagine a world where a black nation rises from enslavement, defeats an empire, and declares itself free without asking for permission. Imagine a world where leaders from across Africa dream of uniting an entire continent into a single global superpower. Militarily strong, economically independent, and culturally unstoppable. Now imagine how the world reacts when that dream becomes possible. This is not fiction. This is our history. And the truth is far more explosive than anything they ever taught us in school. Welcome to My Blackness 100, the home of black empowerment, unapologetic truth, and the unfiltered greatness of our people. If you believe it is time for the black world to reclaim its narrative, to understand its power, and to confront the forces that fear black unity, then pause right here, like this video, subscribe to My Blackness 100, hit the notification bell, and comment with the word awake. Share this video with someone who refuses to accept the lies they were raised on. This is where we rewrite consciousness. Today we dive into the forces that have relentlessly worked to weaken black nations ever since Haiti shattered the myth of white invincibility. But this story does not stop with Haiti. It spreads across the Caribbean, sweeps through Africa, and echoes in the blood of leaders like Kwame Nkrumah, Haile Selassie, Patrice Lumumba, and Muammar Gaddafi, men who dared to imagine a United States of Africa. Men who believed that a united black world would no longer beg at the tables of others, but set its own. Let us begin at the moment that terrified the world. Haiti, 1804. Haiti defeated Napoleon, the most feared military commander of his era, and became the first black republic in the modern world. This was not supposed to happen. Black people were not supposed to fight, organize, strategize, and win. Haiti did all of that, and the Western world panicked. France returned not with chains, but with a bill. Haiti was forced to pay compensation for the property it destroyed, meaning the cost of freeing enslaved Africans. Haiti's people had to pay their former enslavers for daring to become human. And because Haiti could not pay up front, it borrowed from French banks, entering a financial trap that drained its economy for over a century. Haiti's independence was punished so severely that the blueprint became global policy. When a black nation asserts power, suffocated economically. Isolation followed. Haiti was treated like a virus. The United States refused to recognize Haiti for decades, terrified that the Haitian spirit of rebellion would infect the enslaved Africans in its plantations. European nations cut ties, blocked trade, and pretended Haiti did not exist. Independence without allies becomes a cage, and Haiti was left inside that cage alone. When Africa began gaining independence more than a century later, Western powers carried the Haitian playbook in their pockets. Each African nation could raise a flag, sing an anthem, and elect a president, but the engine of its economy would remain in foreign hands. They made sure Africa would export raw materials and import finished goods. You mine gold, they mint coins. You grow cocoa, they sell chocolate. You pump oil, they refine it into wealth. That is not coincidence, that is design. And every time an African leader saw through the illusion and demanded continental unity, the alarms went off. Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana was one of the clearest voices for African unity. He understood that no African nation, no matter how rich in minerals, how fertile its land, or how brilliant its people, could stand alone. He warned that independence without economic control was merely flag independence. Nkrumah envisioned a single African army, a shared currency, and a federation so powerful that no foreign nation could dictate the price of African labor or resources. As soon as Nkrumah proposed the United States of Africa, he was branded dangerous, and not long after, he was overthrown in a coup backed by foreign interests. His dream was not crushed because it was unrealistic. It was crushed because it was achievable. Another visionary, Haile Selassie of Ethiopia, held the same conviction. He pushed for the creation of the Organization of African Unity, the seed that could have grown into a continent-sized empire. Selassie understood that unity was the only antidote to centuries of divide and rule. Ethiopia, one of the few African nations never formally colonized, carried symbolic weight. It proved that Europe was not invincible. But when Selassie's vision began threatening the global balance of power, his rule ended abruptly. The official narrative says it was an internal uprising. History whispers otherwise. Patrice Lumumba of the Democratic Republic of Congo represented another continent-shaking danger: control of strategic minerals. Congo sits on mountains of uranium, cobalt, copper, and diamonds, minerals essential for rockets, weapons, and nuclear power. Lumumba refused to lease Congo's destiny to foreign corporations. He refused to bow. And like Nkrumah, he spoke openly about African unity. Lumumba was not assassinated because he was corrupt or incompetent. He was assassinated because he told the world Congo would no longer kneel. The murderers hid behind politics. The motive was economic warfare disguised as diplomacy. But the most explosive threat to Western dominance came decades later: Muammar Gaddafi of Libya. While the Western world portrayed him as a madman, Gaddafi was constructing something no one was supposed to attempt. He pushed for a single African currency backed by gold. He proposed a telecommunications system free from European and American control. He financed African satellites so nations would stop paying Europe billions in data fees. And he resurrected the very phrase the West feared most: the United States of Africa. Gaddafi did not just dream it, he funded it. He organized conferences, he rallied nations, he dared Africa to imagine what it could become if its 1.2 billion people spoke with one voice. And just like Haiti, just like Nkrumah, just like Lumumba, Gaddafi was eliminated. His nation was turned into rubble, and the world was told it was for democracy. But democracy does not collapse a stable nation. Currency independence does. Africa was not allowed to unite then, and it is not allowed now. Once you understand this pattern, everything makes sense. Black nations are not weak. They are weakened. They are not poor. They are prevented from accessing their wealth. They are not chaotic. They are destabilized. They are not disorganized. They are divided. Debt became the new chain. International institutions offered loans with conditions that forced governments to privatize assets, eliminate subsidies, and open their markets to outsiders. These conditions destroyed local industries, raised unemployment, and ensured that wealth flowed outward. The borrower is slave to the lender, and entire nations became debtors. The media added another layer of control, painting black nations as hopeless, violent, corrupt, or incompetent. This narrative does two things. It justifies foreign interference and convinces young black minds that salvation lies outside their homeland. A colonized mind guards itself.
Keep your hands off the Congo.
We must ensure free trade through the area.
This pepperoni belongs to the crown.
Like slices of cake. Dividing kingdoms and merging rivals. Artificial borders produce artificial conflicts. United, Africa is unstoppable. Fragmented, Africa is manageable. And at the heart of it all lies cultural erasure. A people robbed of their memory become easier to manipulate. If your history begins with slavery, you believe freedom is a gift. If you forget your ancient civilizations, Kush, Mali, Songhai, Great Zimbabwe, you believe progress is European. If you forget that Haiti defeated Napoleon, you believe victory is alien to you. If you forget Nkrumah, Selassie, Lumumba, and Gaddafi, you forget that African unity once stood at the edge of birth. This is no accident. This is strategy, because the world knows something many black people have been trained to forget. Black unity is a superpower. So what now? We must reclaim knowledge. We must teach the names of the leaders who died for our future. We must question every story that ridicules our nations. We must rebuild confidence, and we must understand that the fight is not over. It has simply moved from fields and forts to banks and boardrooms. If this awakens something in you, do not let it sleep again. Like this video, share it,
and comment with the name of the leader you believe was closest to achieving true African unity. Your voice matters. Subscribe to My Blackness 100 and turn on notifications so you never miss another truth they don't want you to hear. Our greatness is not potential, it is inheritance. Our struggles are not signs of weakness, they are evidence of how much power we carry. This is My Blackness 100. Our story did not begin with chains. Our destiny does not end with struggle. And no empire can silence a people who remember who they are. Until next time, rise in knowledge and stand in power.